I'm going to show you exactly how much I made on my other monetized YouTube channel. Now, in order to get monetized on YouTube, you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers within a 12-month time frame. And the thing about YouTube is that it is a marathon and not a sprint, okay? You'll start off with your YouTube channel and you'll feel really excited and you'll start pushing out videos, and then hardly anybody will watch your content and you'll start to feel really, really sad about it. And then you'll want to give up. I say this because this is how I often feel as well. Now, the thing about YouTube monetization and with the YouTube AdSense, the money that you get when companies pay YouTube, right, to actually have their ads on your videos. Now, when you are a monetized channel, you get a bit of that money. And the thing is, sometimes small YouTubers think that the YouTube AdSense money is so much. But this is not true. For the majority of small YouTubers like myself, having a monetized YouTube channel, you will see when I show you that AdSense money isn't that much, Yes, big YouTubers and other YouTubers, some of them, they do get, thousands of dollars per month. But for the far majority of small YouTubers, we aren't making that kind of money. And that is why with YouTube, so many YouTubers, they diversify their income. They have the brand deals and sponsorships and affiliate links. Like, for example, if they're using a mic like this, they'll link it in their description so that if you purchase it via Amazon, for example, they get a percentage of that income. So don't think that you are going to try and get monetized and then you're going to be a YouTube millionaire overnight. No, don't only depend on AdSense, okay? Because the money from AdSense, like I said, it also goes down and then goes up. It fluctuates. It's not like a set amount every single month. And your AdSense, the amount is also determined by where's your audience watching from. If your audience is watching from places like the UK or America, etc., your AdSense tends to be higher than if your audience is watching from Africa or India, etc. Also, who is watching? Are children watching your videos or are adults watching your videos? What age are they? Because the way that advertisers see it is that they want to place ads on videos that are going to attract the audience that will buy their product or their service, etc. And I think that, sometimes we think, oh, okay, so YouTube, you can make money. That's great. Okay. And then we think, oh, is YouTube a full-time job? Is YouTube a real job? And I can tell you now that YouTube is a real job. Some people, they undermine YouTubers. They think it's all fun and games, but it isn't. Think about it. When you start taking YouTube as a business, you start taking it really seriously. You don't only see it as a hobby. You are investing so much of your time, so much of your effort in creating content. And there are so many parts of YouTube, right? You have to learn the skills and you don't learn them overnight. I'm still learning as a small YouTuber. I have so much to learn. I understand that. And the digital economy, the creator economy, is growing and growing. You may ask, what is the creator economy? Well, it's us YouTubers. It's people who have TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, and they are creating content, right? And advertisers see the content and they see that they can place ads on the content. They can ask creators to have brand deals, sponsorships, etc. And this is all part of the creator economy. And it is growing every single year. Before we had media, traditional media, like the newspapers, radio, etc. Now we have social media, and people understand the power of the human element, right, of social media, where somebody may be more likely to relate to me than a celebrity, okay, because I'm just a normal person. And celebrities are people as well, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's easier to relate to people who have more shared interests, okay, where we can see ourselves in that other person. And that's why YouTube is fascinating, because it allows you to talk about the things that you're interested in, right? And you never know who it's going to resonate with. And that person can be so far away in a completely different continent from you, and yet they are able to hear your message. So when you get despondent with your YouTube channel, ask yourself why. Why did you create your YouTube channel? Yes, we are interested in the money. Let's not get it wrong. Yes, we all want to have our creative pursuits bring us some money. Definitely. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is your other reason, your other motivator behind starting your YouTube channel? And I say this because when you feel the dip with your YouTube content creation, right, and that will come, when you are reminded of your why, it will help you stay motivated. Now, when you are creating content, just say you put out 20 videos and you feel like you are failing, think about it, okay? Those 20 videos, are you actually having intentional consistency? Meaning, are you looking at your videos with critical eyes and seeing what you can do better? How can you improve? Are you looking at the videos that have performed well on your channel? And are you doubling down, making more of those videos? And I also say this to myself because sometimes we don't have to start everything from scratch. We simply have to look at our videos and analyze what's worked, what hasn't worked, how can we improve? And that can help us because when we look at the videos that have done well, it means it has resonated with our audience. It means our audience is telling us that they have enjoyed those videos. So we should try to create more of those videos. And YouTube is so much about experimentation. It truly, truly is. You know, you think, okay, I'm going to only create videos indoors, and then you start creating other types of content. Like this is a second video that I'm filmed in the car, and I've started having more videos outdoors, and I actually enjoy it. So that's the thing, see what works for you, what works for your audience, experiment. Now, if you haven't started a YouTube channel, or maybe you have, I know that you have questions for me, so I'm going to answer some of them. You may say, well, I don't even know what to talk about in my YouTube videos. Start with what you are really, really interested in. Something that you can talk to for like 100 videos, 1,000 videos. Something that people say you are the go-to person for. Maybe you absolutely love baking, or maybe you love fixing cars. Start with something that you truly, truly love. Then you may say, well, I don't like the way that I look. I don't want other people to see me. The reality is that we all have our insecurities, but the more often you put yourself out there, you'll start to feel more confident over time. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is that it helps build your confidence. It's not just about monetization. The benefits of having a YouTube channel is that you are constantly taking yourself out of your comfort zone every single time that you film a video, and then you publish it for the world to judge. Yes, but you do it. And every time you do that, you actually are starting to think of yourself differently. You're starting to think of yourself as this really, really brave person who is taking risks, who is taking a chance on themselves. And that is such a wonderful space to be in. Then you may say, well, what about all those people judging me, Kish? By the way, I'm Kish. Nice to meet you. I'll say to you, people are going to judge you. That's true. But you know what? We judge other people as well. Let's get it straight, right? But so what? So what if people judge you? Then what? Don't let other people's judgment stop you from pursuing your dreams. If you start a YouTube channel and you're feeling so sad about it, right? Look at it, assess it, see how you can move forward. Sometimes our own mindset limits us from our content creation because we think that we should give up way too soon. And giving up is sometimes fine. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing, but I am saying that sometimes maybe we don't put in the necessary effort to actually make things really work. Another question is, why is TikTok so much easier to get views than YouTube? And you know what? I agree with this. Oh my word. Sometimes I see TikTokers and they'll have 1 million views, and then I go to their YouTube channel and they have only 200 subscribers. Yes, it's true. it is harder on YouTube. I'm going to say that to you. It is harder on YouTube to get views and impressions, etc., than it is on TikTok. So you have to understand, though, that with YouTube, building a personal brand is great. It really, really is great. But I do think that out of all the social media platforms, I think that it's hardest to build on YouTube. I think that it's hardest to actually gain subscribers on YouTube than TikTok, Instagram, etc. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'm open to people disagreeing with me, absolutely. By the way, my YouTube channel is all about YouTube, being a small YouTuber. If that does interest you, do subscribe. And also, if you haven't ever published any videos and you don't know where to start, comment below with the word list, because I created a free checklist and I'll definitely send that over to you. So just comment below with the word list. Also, let me know where you're watching from. It's always so interesting to know where people are watching from. Another question you'll have is, well, how long should my videos be? You know what? Your videos can really be whatever length you want it to be. See what works best for you. There's a space for long form videos. Some people like having YouTube shorts on their channel. This channel of mine, I don't have YouTube shorts on it. But, it just depends what really excites you. Is it exciting for you to create YouTube shorts? Is it exciting for you to have long videos? Do you prefer having long length videos? It really, really depends. But the best thing is to try both. See what suits you better. See what your audience resonates with. Like I said, so much of this is about experimentation. Another question is, my videos aren't perfect. Should I still post them? Absolutely. Aim for progression rather than perfection. Right now, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are you going to all hear all these cars? Is this going to be too noisy for you to hear? And then I'm thinking, you know what? Stop overthinking, Kish. Just get on with it. And I'd say the same thing to you. I don't know why we expect ourselves to be perfect human beings when perfect human beings do not exist. Perfect human beings do not exist. Let's say it a bit louder. Perfect human beings do not exist. I don't know, sometimes I can be so nutty. But hey, when I first started off, I wasn't like this. I wasn't my normal self. And this is part of my normal self, by the way. I was so robotic. I was just not myself. I just thought that, I had to be like a newsreader or like this highly, highly professional person. But you don't need to be. You can be you. And I know it sounds so cliched, but it is true. You can absolutely just be you. The joy of YouTube is that, it is a creative outlet. It truly, truly is. And it's fun, it's exciting, it's depressing at times, it's frustrating at times. It will test your patience so much of the time. But it's also lovely to see something gradually grow. Yes, you'll see people who get monetized in 30 days, and do not judge yourself or compare yourself to those YouTubers. Everybody's journey is their own, and it's cliched but true. And focus on your next step forward. Focus on how you are going to learn more about YouTube. Focus on how you are going to enjoy this creative outlet. When we step out of our comfort zone and we start exploring other parts of our minds, of our creativity, it really, really does something for you. It enables you to understand that there are so many possibilities. All you have to do is tap into those possibilities. And I'm not saying that, YouTube is this magical world and, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. No, I'm going to be real with you. Some days you won't feel like it. You won't feel like creating. But I'd say even on those days that you don't feel like creating, yes, some days have a rest, have a break from it. But sometimes start, because once you start, then you'll start to feel motivated again to actually create the content. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that it's not so much about constant motivation, but sometimes it's also about discipline. Having the discipline to create content even when we aren't seeing views, even when we aren't making money, etc. So the grand total that I made on this YouTube channel that I have monetized is $48.92. Now, it took me just over a year to monetize this YouTube channel that I'm showing you. So that is why I say, with YouTube, it is sometimes, or actually pretty often, gradual growth, okay? You won't see growth necessarily overnight. For some people, yes, but for the far majority of small YouTubers, it is gradual growth, month on month, gaining subscribers, gaining watch hours, etc. So on this YouTube channel that I'm showing you, I do post YouTube shorts, but I also want to show you how the numbers fluctuate, right? One day, $2.42, another day, 34 cents, etc. And various amounts, right? Sometimes really low, like 0.02, 0.003, etc. And that is because I haven't been that consistent on this YouTube channel that I'm showing you, okay? And I do post YouTube shorts on this YouTube channel, so you'll be surprised to know that most of this money is actually from AdSense that I gained from my YouTube shorts, and I'm going to show you that right now. So short feeds adds $30.68. These are ads that are placed on my YouTube shorts, the money that I get from AdSense from those YouTube shorts. Then long form content, I made $18.24, right? So that's long form videos. So when advertisers place their ads, I get a percentage of that money that advertisers pay to YouTube, and I made $18.24. Supers and gifts, nothing, okay? So the total again is $48.92. Now, to many people, they may think that this is not a huge amount of money. But for me personally, just the fact that I actually was able to make money online was a game changer for my mindset, because I had never earned money online in this way before. So to know that it is possible and that I actually achieved it did something to my frame of thought when it came to content creation, making money online, using your YouTube channel as a means of also getting income. So it's a small amount to many people, but just because I made $48.92 doesn't mean to say that you will make this amount. You may make more than that, far more than that. In fact, some YouTubers do earn thousands of dollars through AdSense every month. It's just that every single YouTuber's journey is different. But I have come to understand that diversifying your income, definitely, and not relying solely on this AdSense money, is important if you want to make YouTube your full-time career. Now, I want to show you how during different months I earned different amounts of money, just so that you understand that AdSense money fluctuates. Just because you get a certain amount in one month does not mean that the following month you'll be getting the same amount of money. So I made the most money in October last year, $27.80, because I was very consistent in that month. And then you can see some months are as low as $1.31, okay, and even $1.22, which was this year. And then in Feb this year, 92 cents. Because like I said, on this particular channel that I'm showing you, I wasn't that consistent, okay? So when you are really consistent on YouTube and you are a monetized channel, you probably get more AdSense than if you weren't that consistent, depending, of course, on whether your video is viewed as being valuable to the viewer and whether you are in certain niches. Like, for example, finance niches tend to do better in terms of AdSense money than a cooking channel. However, if the cooking channel gets millions of views and the finance channel only gets like 100 views, then it's a different story. So there are many, many dynamics when it comes to how much you will be earning with your YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't ever started a YouTube channel, or you have started but you feel a bit stuck when it comes to creating your videos, I have created checklists for actually creating your content. So comment below with the word list and I'll send you the free checklist. Now, the thing with YouTube is, do you have a content strategy. Do you know what your next 10, what your next 20 videos are going to be about? Have a Google document, type out what your next videos are going to be. It helps you stay focused on track, because once you understand what your upcoming videos are going to be, it takes away some of the guesswork involved, okay? And you are more strategic when it comes to thinking of your videos, what your titles are going to be, what your thumbnails are going to look like. And, before, to be honest, when I was creating videos, I would think about the thumbnail after I created the video. But now I think about the thumbnail even before I sit down and film content for the video. So really, really think of having a content strategy in place so that you understand what videos you're going to actually start working on. So these are some tips that I wish somebody had told me when I was starting my YouTube channel. The thing is, we all, feel cringe about our videos. We feel cringe about the way we look, the way we sound, etc. But once you move past that feeling, okay, then you can really, really start to feel more comfortable in your skin. And the thing is, when you start something that is new, of course, it's going to feel so weird at first. Of course, it's going to feel like, what am I doing? Should I actually be doing this? Your past self, the past version of who you are, is going to be questioning this current version of you who's embarking on this new YouTube channel of yours. And doubt will creep in your mind. I'm telling you this. The doubt will start to creep in. But don't listen to the doubt. Put the doubt behind you and move forward. And I say this because sometimes, we can have such doubts about starting something new, especially a YouTube channel. Because think about it with YouTube. Yes, you're now in the public domain. People can watch you on TV, on their mobile phone, on their computer. And that can be so intimidating. But I'll give you a tip, which is when you are chatting, right, like I am right now, I'm using my phone, never used a camera to film content. I think, okay, there's one person that's watching me, a friend, okay? I think about a nice person, an encouraging person, a supportive person. Instead of thinking, oh my word, all these people are going to be potentially watching you. That fear can increase in your mind. But when you think, it's just a conversation, I'm just going to be my normal self and see how it goes, and I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. The moment we start to put pressure on ourselves to create the absolute best content, this video has to, I have to hit it right out of the park. Is that the saying? I don't know. But you know what I mean? The moment we start thinking that we have to create perfect content, it stops us. We don't even want to think about the next video we're going to create. If our last video performed really, really poorly, we think, what's the point? Why should I keep going? Well, here's why you should keep going. The thing is, we don't learn overnight. It takes time to learn new skills. It takes time to get good at YouTube. I'm not good yet, and I'm okay with that. Some days I'm not that okay with that. Some days I want to rush the process. I'll tell you that. I will tell you some days I just feel impatient with my growth here on YouTube. But other days I understand that learning something requires patience. It requires time. It requires intentional consistency, right? Where you actually really, really critique your work and see what you can do better in your videos. And, see what your audience actually enjoys from your content. See what they enjoy. Look at other channels that are similar to your channels. What channels are performing well? Okay, if there's a channel, for example, if you have a channel that is about fitness, okay, and you see another channel that is about fitness, and that channel has maybe 2,000 subscribers, but one of their videos has reached 50,000 views. Now that is called an outlier video because that video has performed so well, right? Even though that channel doesn't have that many subscribers. So you can create your version of that video, okay? The mere fact that you are in this video means it's a completely different video, okay? It may be similar to the title, etc., but you are in this video. So it's a different video. Create your version. See what worked well. Why did that video perform that well? Read the comments. See why people really, really liked that video. So do your research. Do your research to find out what content is resonating with audiences, with people. Okay. And we tend to think of the algorithm as some like, what is the algorithm? Is this some mysterious creature? No, it isn't. The algorithm is really people who are watching the content. If YouTube sees that videos are performing well, they will push that video out to more people. And I'm not saying it happens all the time, okay? Because sometimes, even on my channel, I have a video which has a really high average view duration. I think it's over 5 minutes, and that video has still not been pushed out. But who knows? That's the other thing about YouTube. Sometimes your video may be pushed out even 5 months later, 6 months later, a year later. You just don't know. There are some parts of YouTube which you can still try to figure out. So if you have a full-time job and you only have weekends to film, etc., think about batch recording. Batch recording is basically sit down and do a video like this. You already dressed up. You already have your setup. So have a bit of a break, have an hour break, try to film the next video. See if that works for you. Different things work for different people, but I didn't even know about the concept about batch recording before. So sometimes I do batch recording, sometimes I don't do it. If I know it's a long video, I won't necessarily record a video after that because I'm tired, okay? So also strive to have a balance between creating content and also having a life outside of YouTube, because sometimes, especially when you're first starting on YouTube, you may feel like all energetic, really ready to go, and then you lose focus, you lose track of also having time to just relax, having time with your family and your friends, and going outside and just breathing the fresh air, etc. Really, sometimes YouTube can start to take over your life. So have a balance with creating content, but also having your life. Because remember, life is not only about YouTube. Now, I know that you can hear all this advice from me, right? But I'll tell you this, please don't procrastinate, okay? Maybe you started your YouTube channel, but you just aren't putting out enough content, okay? Or maybe you haven't even started your YouTube channel. Don't procrastinate. And I say this because I took years before I actually started creating content on YouTube, because of my fears, of my limiting beliefs, etc. And you always think, okay, no, I'll do it this day. I'll do it next month. I'll do it in 3 months' time. I'll do it when I have this camera equipment. What excuses are you giving yourself? No, be honest. What excuses are you telling yourself? Because you can have the opposing view of, no, you don't need a fancy camera. No, you don't need to be absolutely ready. You just need to get started. And you will understand YouTube as you go along. It's not like you have to gain all this YouTube knowledge first and then press record and then publish content. It doesn't work that way. You learn from creating content. You learn from putting things into action. Does that make sense to you? Because for the longest time, I stalled my own growth. I stalled my own growth because I was so scared of starting. I felt like I wasn't ready. I didn't know the stuff. So how could I start? You can start from scratch. We start so many other things in life from scratch. Why not YouTube? You may ask yourself, who would want to listen to me? I'm not like a very interesting person, you may think to yourself, or I don't have an exciting life. Who would want to listen to me? The thing is, you never know who is going to resonate with you in this world. You will find your tribe, your community here on YouTube. There are so many millions of people in the world, right? That whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, etc., people will start to watch your content as long as you're providing value through information or entertainment, etc. People will start to resonate with your content, and slowly you will build your tribe and your community. For the longest time, I thought that YouTube was only for young people. I'm a 42-year-old YouTuber. And I can tell you now that whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 20s, your 60s, your 70s, even your 80s, because I saw a YouTuber in his 80s, there is a space here for every kind of individual, okay? So please don't limit yourself by thinking you have to be a certain type of person, look a certain type of way to be on this platform. because you don't. You really don't. And the other thing I want to tell you is that sometimes you may think, oh, but you know what, Kish, I don't speak perfectly on camera. I stumble on my words, I make mistakes. So what? You know what? We all do. Nobody is perfect when they're talking on camera. So please don't let that stop you as well, because you get better at talking on camera once you put in the reps of creating content. You'll look at your first video versus your 100th video, and you'll see the difference. You'll see how you improved with talking on camera. And that comes through practice. Practice doesn't make you perfect, but practice makes you better. Look at progression rather than perfection. Now, have you heard of the spotlight effect? The spotlight effect is where we think everybody is looking at us. We think, oh, we created this video, and what is going to happen in the world after I publish this video? You understand what I'm saying? The spotlight effect is real. But the truth is that everybody is just getting on with their own lives. Yes, some people who you may know may eventually find your videos, etc. I would say don't share with your family and friends your YouTube channel. Don't share it when you're first starting off, okay? It's not because they aren't supportive. It's because it adds pressure. It adds that extra layer of pressure of what are they going to think about your channel, if they're going to give you feedback, etc. Just get on with your own YouTube channel, okay? If they find it by accident, fine. But I'm telling you, don't share your YouTube channel with your family and friends, because whenever you create content, you may think, what will they think about this content, etc. And when you're starting off as a small YouTuber, there's already the pressure, okay, because you're starting something new. Don't add that other layer by sharing your link. You may think, oh, but I'll get more views if I share it with my family and friends. But what happens is, if they aren't truly interested in the content that you are making, when you create more content, they aren't going to be watching it. So they are your subscribers, but they are subscribers who don't watch your content. You want subscribers that will actually watch your content, not just one video or two videos. But if you created like 200 videos, you want your subscribers to watch, at least 40 or 50 of those videos. So don't make the mistake of thinking, oh, I want subscribers, so let me ask all my family and friends to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So don't do that. There are parts of YouTube that is easy and the other parts that are difficult. Sometimes you can plan your video, you can put so much research into it, and then your video doesn't materialize the way you had hoped, right? Maybe things go off on the day, maybe things go off when you are talking on camera, etc. But sometimes you just have to understand that things won't always go exactly as planned, and to keep moving forward. And I say that because sometimes when I'm recording, I can hear noises, I get distracted by certain things, and I think, oh my word, the viewer is going to notice this, the viewer is going to see this. Is this okay? And you start to have doubt creep in again. But the reality is that, if we obsess about everything when it comes to content creation, and if we overthink all the different moving parts, we will hardly create content, and we may never create content. And sometimes when you want things to go right, that's wonderful, but don't obsess about every single detail to the point that it stops your momentum, okay? Sometimes you have to allow things to flow, irrespective of whether it's perfectly aligned or not. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because I think that sometimes I will research a video for weeks, and I still won't put it out. And then other times I'll think about an idea. Like one of my videos, I didn't have any impressions on my YouTube videos, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm sure other people are suffering with getting 0 impressions. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to create this video because I am so frustrated. And that video currently has 1,200 views, and it's my second highest video on my channel. And this channel has over, I think, like almost 150 videos on this channel. So that's to show that sometimes when we don't overthink content, we actually are in the energy of flow, So think about that as well, but don't overthink that. So, with YouTube, I will say to you, Sometimes we think that we get validated by the numbers, the number of subscribers that we have, the amount of money that we're earning through YouTube, and how many views we're getting. But to have that as validation can be a dangerous position to be in. Because when the numbers go up, then you feel good. When the numbers drop, then you feel lousy about yourself. You are not your numbers. You are worthy, irrespective of how many numbers you are getting. Okay, let that really, really sink in for you. Because sometimes I think with content creation, it's like a dopamine effect. The numbers go up, you feel high, you feel intoxicated by it. Numbers go down, you feel depressed. So don't let that be a way to measure your self-worth, because hey, the fact that you are in this world, that you are trying, that you are learning, that you are growing as a human being is fantastic. Go you. Really, really, really go you. So don't let that make you feel crappy when you're getting low views. And I say that as a reminder to myself as well, because it can feel very tempting to actually allow our self-worth to be dictated by numbers or success or failure. And that's the other thing I want to tell you about. When you are failing on YouTube, you aren't actually failing. Because think about what you are learning. When things aren't going that well, when the numbers are low, what are you learning? You are learning about patience. You are hopefully going back to that content and seeing, how can I improve? Can I make the hook better, the first 10 seconds? Can I make this thumbnail better? Can I actually be more relaxed when I'm talking on camera so it doesn't feel like I'm a robot? Can I just be me on camera so it's relatable? Because I know that when I watch content, I want to see people who I can relate to. I don't want to be lectured by a professor, maybe sometimes, but on the whole, I want to just see normal human beings. And that's the thing. Sometimes with social media, because we see the highlight reels of people's life, we think that when we are creating content as a YouTuber, things need to look perfect all the time. We need to look perfect all the time. So let's take away those limitations that we set on ourselves and our content creation processes. Now, storytelling is such a huge part of being a YouTuber. And when I first heard about storytelling, I thought, but isn't that fake? Like, I just felt weird about putting in stories in my videos. I don't know why, but I just felt, is that weird? Is that normal? But now I get it. I get it, because the thing is, when I hear people talk about their stories or share their stories, it makes me relate to them more, because it's like a human story, It's not just facts and figures. It's something that has happened to them. It's something that has shifted their lives in some way, or has uplifted them, or it could be a story where they went from rags to riches, or it can be a story where they learned something new. So incorporate stories into your videos, because it's a powerful tool of actually letting your viewer know a bit about yourself. But obviously don't share too much. Share only what you are comfortable with sharing. Like for me, I will tell you that I find YouTube fascinating. I truly, truly do. Yes, it irritates me sometimes. It does. YouTube irritates me sometimes. But on the whole, I find it so fascinating. So much so that every single day, I learn about YouTube. I learn about it because when I was growing up, YouTube did not exist. When I was growing up, social media did not exist. So in this day and age, to be able to communicate with people from all over the world, I find it astounding. I think, why not take advantage of this amazing opportunity where whether you are in Asia or Europe, etc., you can connect with people from all over the world. It is just brilliant. Don't you think so? And I think that I won't let my fear stop me from using this platform, okay? I won't let sometimes my own limiting beliefs stop me from creating content on this platform. And nor should you. Nor should you. Maybe you started a YouTube channel and you've been going for about 6 months or even a year, and you think nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Do you know that even with big YouTubers, it can take years? even big YouTubers started from 0 views, 0 subscribers, etc. So really, really, really understand that we all start from 0 here on YouTube and on other social media platforms as well. My YouTube channel is all about being a small YouTuber, the highs and the lows, and what I'm learning about YouTube. If you are interested in that, please do subscribe and comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always really, really interesting. And have a beautiful week and keep shining.